Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So, it is currently about almost 3 a.m. at the time that I am recording this video, and all I can really think about is the potential behind XRP. The potential behind crypto in general is something special, but XRP is another giant in this space. I mean, it's on an absolute different level than really any other asset in this space. And I don't think that a lot of people actually see this. I think that they just kind of look at XRP as just yet another crypto asset in a world of over 20,000 plus cryptos. To me, XRP is a tried and true tested and a very special asset. For the longest time, XRP has been in this market. If you have been in crypto since, 2012, for an example, you know about XRP. You've heard about XRP. It is one of the OG tokens in this space, and it's also a very laggard asset. It does, usually run last. But that is not what makes XRP so special. In fact, what makes XRP special is the decision for positioning XRP as a bridge currency, as a liquidity bridge asset, that Ripple has chosen to do so. Now, to me, crypto has many use cases, but a few of them kind of get thrown out the window just because people don't understand the technology. They don't really understand the potential. And today, we're going to be really discussing the potential behind XRP and the infinite amount of value that can derive from the XRP mechanism. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So first off, shout out to jbless901 on Twitter, but we do see here, not sure who needs to see this, but head it into the new week. Instead of asking why XRP, start asking why not XRP. What a time to be alive, people. It's a mental grind, but just focus on health, mental and physical, during these times. And I also do completely agree. I think that we should all be focusing on health. It is wealth at the end of the day. But we do see here the great digital asset. And of course, this is a diagram from going all the way back to 2019 from Status. We do see strong fundamentals enabling the internet of value, technical attributes, network of companies as well. And it's more so talking about utility, financial institutions, banks, and things like that. But we do see sourcing global liquidity. Here are the use cases. So medium of exchange, smart contracts, micropayments, store of value, bridge currency, B2B payments, instant cross-border payments or settlements, micropayments, securities, and FX settlements. And, we could tally up a little bit more use cases to this. I mean, to be completely honest with you guys, there is quite a bit of use cases that just still have yet to meet the blind eye around XRP. A lot of people just think, back to the OG, titles that XRP has held for the longest times, which is it's a banker's token. It's a banker's coin. That's what it is. There's no real major use case to it besides that, and that's where I do say, a lot of individuals are wrong. In regards to the XRP ledger, you could also issue stable coins, CBDCs, etc., and still source liquidity from XRP. This is what makes XRP so diverse in its own way. But also, we did see Ripple, recently announce their partnership with PeerSight Technology. We do see here, Ripple Senior Advisor, Anthony, Welfare, and PeerSight CEO spoke with, I don't even know how to pronounce these names as they are, Twitter handles, but about the significance of bringing Colombia's National Land Registry on chain. And of course, you do see down there, Colombia enlists Ripple Labs to put land deeds on the blockchain, which we've talked about in the past. I think that we talked about this initially on when it did fully get announced. But I think that this is one step closer to having full-on real estate tokenized. I talked to you guys a little bit about this with Hedera, and I've actually discussed it with many of the other projects within the space. I think that is a very, incredible idea about, tokenizing certain, asset classes. And real estate always comes up because, of course, it is a $300 trillion asset class. But also, the benefits of actually tokenizing real estate is truly remarkable. Not only do you have fractionalized ownership, but it also streamlines the entire process, and it makes, the real estate market liquid. these are very illiquid asset classes that can benefit greatly from being, of course, tokenized. And I do believe that XRP, if you will, when you really kind of look at the XRP ledger itself, benefits from all of the, efficiencies that many of the other layer ones do benefit from. You look at like the, green technology aspect, the speeds, the low cost fees, scalability, etc. And I do think that when we really kind of look at the XRP ledger, and even just utilizing XRP in general, I think that Ripple always comes up in conversation simply because Ripple for the longest time has always been well known within the financial institutional area and also the banking area as well. So it really kind of puts a little bit of a better reputation on not only the XRP ledger but also XRP as a token. A lot of people tie the XRP token to Ripple, as even the SEC has in the past. I really don't look at XRP as Ripple or Ripple as XRP. I look at the fact that like Ripple utilizing XRP as like a liquidity source and a bridge currency is pretty monumental for XRP as a digital asset. But that's basically all I really kind of look at, the connection with Ripple and of course XRP. But I do think that this is something special, and I think that it's just yet again another use case value that you can tally up with all of the numerous other use cases around XRP. But then we go over here, and this is where things get a little bit interesting. So we've talked about Tranglo in the past. In fact, we've talked about Tranglo, we've talked about Finastra, we've talked about even Accenture. And yes, we could possibly talk about all three of them in this video. We're actually going to be talking about the infinite value around XRP. So we do see here to piggyback off of Anderson's, on-demand liquidity bridge. Tranglo has recently published a flowchart on their website that is very, instructive about how they use on-demand liquidity now and therefore XRP. This is one of 7. Notice the licensee, wallet is held by Ripple. And yes, we could dive into the on-demand liquidity process on Tranglo here in a second. But we also do see down here, here's the steps, collated from the scrolling box. A customer makes the request to Tranglo and then pulls XRP from their licensee's Ripple, held wallet, and then exchange via Tranglo's exchange account for fiat and into their Tranglo wallet, which, by the way, this is why I've always said that the XRP escrow and the XRP that Ripple does own is 100% necessary. Yes, does it allow for the idea of, possible FUD around like centralization? Sure, it does. But realistically speaking, it's not centralized. The reason why Ripple actually holds that XRP is because it powers the on-demand liquidity process. It truly opens the doors for such a monumental use case that nobody really thought possible until, of course, crypto's inception. And we do see down here, note, how significant it is the customer does not have to hold XRP in this schema. There is no volatility risk as Ripple holds the XRP and Tranglo pulls it to find fiat liquidity. Here's the original thread. A big question to answer: does the Tranglo customer even or actually own the XRP in their Ripple wallet? Does Tranglo or are customers only paying to lease Ripple's XRP? Yes, of course, but is it ever on their books? And of course, we talked about that. I think that was 2 days ago now, where we kind of talked about, the correspondent banking system that Ripple has fully, improved on with the use of digital assets, where they basically, again, works as a correspondent in a sense. Yes, they basically are, a correspondent banking client, if you will. But we do see, there's further flexibility with line of credit Ripple can offer in this setup. You can fund cross-border transactions at a low cost without cash on hand when Ripple hands XRP to Tranglo to exchange for you. Who assumes the default risk in this, Tranglo or Ripple? And this is just payments. It's interesting to wonder how Ripple is integrating this kind of wallet schematic with their crypto liquidity hub too. One interface to source multiple liquidities. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting when you look into, of course, all of the use cases around like liquidity in general from Ripple, as it has been like a major thing to really kind of focus on. And I do believe that Ripple is actually preparing us for the future around a full-on tokenized economy. In fact, we do see down here, like with, one Ripple wallet, enterprise can source anything that can be tokenized. Fiat, crypto, deeds, stocks, and now carbon credits all in one place. it's what crypto has talked about forever in a regulated, secure, and reliable interface for popular use. And yes, Ripple is well ahead of the curve. This is where I don't think that a lot of people are actually paying attention to, Ripple. They are, really kind of building out this platform for the future of where crypto is basically headed. And we do see down here they don't use the crypto liquidity hub for fiat payments, but the move towards hosted wallets puts them at the nexus of a lot of liquidity for customers behind one interface. As it scales, this could have profound implications. And yes, I mean, it could. But I actually think that when we really kind of look at this, I think that their liquidity source is pretty, dead set solid around this, and I think that they have thought this out, fully. You got to remember, with all the developers, with all of the, engineers behind Ripple, I think that they're really kind of, ahead of the game in regards to like any implications that could very well possibly happen with this. And I would say that like there's really no risk to this. Of course, I'm not going to, do a full-on breakdown of like the technology and really kind of deep dive into it because I'm not an engineer or a developer. But I'm sure that they have been very lenient on, really kind of paying attention on things like that. So, of course, again, like I would need to hear from a full-on developer or, engineer. But let's actually talk about this on-demand liquidity aspect with Tranglo. I might actually do a full-on breakdown tomorrow with Accenture and also I think it was Finastra. Yes, those are very well two large names within the financial institutional area, but I'm sure that everybody knows about Tranglo by now. In fact, we actually do see over here, increase your working capital with Ripple's on-demand liquidity, register your interest below, and we'll get in touch. Like Tranglo is a major player of, Ripple. And when we really kind of look at the connection between these two, it's pretty significant. I don't think that a lot of people are really kind of paying attention to this, but we do see down here, why on-demand liquidity? Well, maximum cash in, hand. Ripple's on-demand liquidity estimates or eliminates, costly pre-funding so the money stays in your hand. Even wider network, gain access to Tranglo and also Ripple. Instant payments using XRP as the bridging currency is a true game changer. No more waiting for you and also your customers. And then down here we do see, how OmniPay grew exponentially with on-demand liquidity. And of course, on-demand liquidity has increased our monthly processing volume, allowing us to scale our business to reach more customers. And this is what I always say. Pay attention to names like Tranglo because they are going to be the fuel that really lights the fire for, adoption of XRP as well as the adoption of on-demand liquidity. And we do see down here, how on-demand liquidity works with Tranglo, and this is basically going back to, of course, Wrath of Kahneman's, tweet. Yes, this is basically how everything works. You do see, of course, step one, remittance licensee with Ripple. Remittance licensee's XRP wallet account. Step 3 goes all the way to Tranglo's USD crypto exchange, XRP to USD. And then, of course, step 4 is, Ripple sending to, Tranglo Singapore. And then we do see the invoice as well. And you do see all of this going through like step 1. Licensee request for bulk pre-funding via RippleNet as, at Tranglo. Licensee draws down requested amount in XRP from digital wallet. XRP is sent to Tranglo's exchange account and liquidated into fiat. And then, of course, licensee's wallet in Tranglo's system is credited with, requested amount for remittance payouts. And then, last but not least, Ripple invoices licensee for payment. Very substantial, breakdown of this, but also a great innovation within the financial sector that is well needed. And I would say that this is probably sought after from major financial institutions and banking clients. And of course, down here it says, like, are you ready to improve your liquidity? And of course, they are like a major, like, they are going to be a major player in regards to like connecting on-demand liquidity to many of their clients. And remember, I've always said that Tranglo, like I said, going back to what I just recently said like a couple minutes ago, is the fuel that's going to light the fire for mass adoption of on-demand liquidity, as well as like adoption of just RippleNet services. Because remember, this is just one of like the many players that are already connected with Ripple. We've talked about this even with Accenture and also Finastra. I bring those two names up because they are very substantial substantial names, and they are also two well-known names that have direct connections and exposure to Ripple. But we do see down here like the cross-border payment specialist, our story. It was founded in 2008. Our vision and mission. Mission is to, Tranglo aims to be a global leader in providing accessible and equitable financial services to the masses. Vision, Tranglo strives to empower a global community with easy access to fair-priced, user-friendly, and reliable cross-border payment services. And of course, down here you do see like the leadership. But here is where things get a little bit interesting. So we've talked about this in the past, but 1,300 payout partners. Remember, right? Going back to this original on-demand liquidity, area on their website, it does talk about how, OmniPay, grew massively with on-demand liquidity. All of the 1,300 payout partners on, Tranglo have direct exposure to RippleNet's on-demand liquidity, sourcing XRP as the liquidity source. And remember, they have offices all around the world. They are a global company, and I do, expect them to continue to grow rapidly around the world with new offices. But also, right, when we really kind of look into this, we go on to even more case studies. Here is GEA, Global E-Money Alliance, One World, One Alliance. How Tranglo enabled global social banking leader GEA to increase cash flow. GEA unlocks cash flow freedom thanks to Ripple's on-demand liquidity solution enabled through Tranglo. Interesting. So here's yet again another, client or partner of Tranglo's that is not only sourcing liquidity from Ripple's on-demand liquidity solution, but they are utilizing XRP. And this is actually quite a bit of a substantial, partnership as well. If we actually look over here, this happened on July 25th. Nobody's really talking about this, by the way. But this is to increase cash flow. And we do see down here the challenge. Obviously, GEA's, extensive payment network was a significant advantage that faced a hurdle, frequent cash flow problems due to funds being tied up in multiple intermediaries, which was unavoidable as it had to ensure it could cater to real-time and rapid money flows across borders. And, we do see, 2 times overheads, delays / drop-offs in transactions. And then we do see the solution. With on-demand liquidity, this is where they are going to be leveraging, of course, the digital asset XRP to facilitate low-cost cross-border payments on RippleNet, Ripple's own global financial network. And we do see, we knew that GEA needed an immediate change to the way they funded transaction requests. Using another fund and send system would not be, helpful, as that would not solve their cash flow problems. They needed more control over their own funds and fast. And the funny thing is, right, is that if you actually go over to GEA's website, this is, facilitate frictionless global social banking. It's an integrated global platform connecting financial institutions, e-wallets, and merchants, around the world to enjoy financial inclusion services. And we do see down here. So here is their platform. 9 million plus merchants, 5,000 plus banks, 300 million plus end users, 400,000 plus cash pickup outlets, and 6 million plus number of transactions. Pretty substantial, very large, company, by the way. And they do have quite a bit of solutions down here. We do see global fund transfer, global payments, global cash, withdrawals, global mass payout. So they are a global company that is expanding rapidly. And like I said, going back over here, their solution was, of course, to streamline the process and, utilize on-demand liquidity. Things are rapidly, happening outside of the United States as we still have stifled innovation. And things are not slowing at all. In fact, down here, in just 3 months, GEA saw a 70% growth in transactions. There were marked improvements across the board, but significantly across 3 key areas: 3 times processing value, 2 times lower overheads, and 5 times customer retention. This is the difference with on-demand liquidity. And we do see down here, with on-demand liquidity eliminating pre-funding, GEA no longer needs to lock in valuable working capital, which is a crucial limiting factor for its business growth. Not only that, it also, relegated, many payment processes and treasury management to the dedicated teams within Ripple and Tranglo, significantly lowering its overheads. This is huge. I don't believe that people actually realize how large this actually is. And down here, we do see, now GEA connects more than 300 million consumers, and $1 billion, making great strides in creating a truly frictionless global social banking, scene. And this is huge. We do see down here a quote: while on-demand liquidity has transformed our settlement process and allowed us to achieve cash flow freedom, it is Tranglo's dedication and support that made the onboarding and integration journey a relatively painless one. What's more, the reliability and swiftness of Tranglo's services is critical to our success in aggressively expanding the business growth. Again, remember, this is going to be a huge onboarding aspect to on-demand liquidity, and this is just one of many case studies from Tranglo. If you actually look down here, there's so many other, major case studies from Tranglo themselves. Are all of these utilizing XRP, for example, with on-demand liquidity? Not necessarily, but I'm sure that if you do, like, for example, like this Cross ENF, enjoys, record growth with Tranglo. So if we actually look into this, I don't know exactly if they are utilizing on-demand liquidity or Ripple. I'm just kind of, clicking this just to kind of see what's happening here. It might just be with Tranglo themselves. So yeah, we're not seeing like a major, we're not seeing any confirmation of like on-demand liquidity here with Ripple or anything like that. But I do believe that going forward, we will see a lot more adoption of Ripple with on-demand liquidity from Tranglo. And I think that this one is pretty significant as it does kind of outline the entire process around this. And remember, Tranglo has many other, solutions on their platform. For example, they do have Tranglo Connect, our foreign remittance solution, for you to start letting your customers send money home quickly, safely, and reliably. And this is, immediate access to 20 countries, broaden your customer base, payout at over 1,300 banks/wallets, and 130,000 cash pickup points. More options for everyone. Global switching, forex settlement, and risk management. Let us handle the back end work you dread. Expand your network. And we do see GME, Remittance, for an example. Tranglo has been a springboard for us to venture into money transfer market and beat the competition. Again, like I said, when we really kind of look at this, Tranglo is most likely utilizing, on-demand liquidity in the background of things for a lot of their solutions. They're a global company. They have many partnerships with many of the key players around the world. For example, like even Wise, which I've utilized Wise in the past for a lot of like my employee payments and compensation. But yeah, I really do think that like the liquidity service here, like maximize your liquidity, increase your cash flow with Ripple's on-demand liquidity. Like this is where we will see not only a lot more, major clients of Tranglo's move over to on-demand liquidity as a service, but also be utilizing XRP on a day-to-day basis, which is what we actually want to see. And of course, why wouldn't they, lower operational costs and free up more working capital? Like it's going to be a big innovation, and we've already seen it being put to work with GEA and many other, major clients of theirs. And of course, they do also have Tranglo Business, cross-border payments for corporates of all sizes. Again, all of this is focused on everything that Ripple has been focused on since day one. And we do see, like, for the most part, on-demand liquidity being in every single one of these pages. We also even see, recharge, mobile payment at your fingertips with the widest network, for airtime top-ups and mobile credit. And here's Singtel, for example. They're just mentioning a few of their customers here. And, if you do scroll down, they might even, like, this is just, like, ready to join us. Choose either API or web platform and stuff like that. But most of, if anything, almost all of the processes on Tranglo are going to be pushed through on-demand liquidity going forward. And I think that this is just one of many substantial partnerships of Ripple. And I think that we're going to go in depth tomorrow on Finastra and Accenture, as those are like two major connections to Ripple, and they are very substantial. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. But if you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As goes up to you all, have a beautiful day, a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out.